Carrying the weight of Rome on his shoulders, Marcus Aurelius has gone down in history for being the last good and greatly respected Roman emperors. He's better now known for his contributions to the Stoic philosophy, where Aurelius shares some of his incredible insights on the importance of self-discipline in a collection of his thoughts known today as the Meditations.
At dawn, when you have trouble getting out of bed, tell yourself, I have to go to work. As a human being, what do I have to complain of? If I'm going to do what I was born for, the things I was brought into this world to do, or is this what I was created for? To huddle under the blankets and stay warm? But it's nicer here. So you were born to feel nice? Instead of doing things and experiencing them? Don't you see the plants, the birds, the ants and spiders and bees going about their individual tasks, putting in the world in order as best they can? And you're not willing to do your job as a human being? Why aren't you running to do what your nature demands?
If I'm going to do what I was born for, the things I was brought into this world to do, what do I have to complain of? Let that statement just sink in. Don't you feel the power behind those words? As human beings, we are driven by purpose. We are driven by a calling that's higher than ourselves. We've all had that voice inside our heads enter at one point or another. What is the meaning of life? What is my calling? So many people reach old age and they look back and they say, I wish I had the courage to follow my heart and to pursue my calling. I actually have a quote pinned on my wall. That's what I do. I print out quotes and pin them on my wall because I'm cool like that. But I would love to read it for you guys. So just give me a sec. I'm going to grab it. I read it every morning. You would think I would have it memorized by now, but I don't quite. Have to weave through all my camera gear here. Okay. I just sat on one of the pins. So it says, the greatest level is, let's start again. The greatest level is, oh my goodness. Get it together. The greatest level of hell is when you come to the end of your life and you have to look your potential in the eye and say, I'm sorry I was afraid, when the person you became meets the person you could have been if only you had the courage.
Now, finding your calling could be something as simple as being a gardener, or something as honorable as being a father or a mother, or something as daunting as changing the world. What's important is finding out what that is. If you've already found it, that's amazing. I'm so incredibly happy for you. However, I'd like to share some words with those who haven't. First of all, know that it's okay. Try not to beat yourself up. We're all on our own separate journeys. Think about what your core values are and what areas of your life bring you the most joy and what emotions in your life carry the most weight.
I'll use my own life as an example without getting into too much detail, as I have touched on it in previous videos. But my childhood and my early adulthood was full of struggle and adversity and trauma, and going through all those hard times gave me the gift of compassion, the ability to resonate with people that are struggling and are having a difficult time finding their way, and it's given me an intense drive to help them and inspire them to find it, and to help them to believe that you can come from nothing, from poverty and from a broken beginning, and still lead a fulfilling life.
Some great questions to ask yourself are, what events have shaped my life? What drove me towards the things I'm interested in? Maybe it's fitness, arts, maybe it's business, maybe it's helping others, or working on your own development. Find out what truly excites you, and I'm sure you'll stumble across your calling. For those of you who have found your calling, remember the obligation you have to follow it. Remind yourself that slacking off today could push you back a week, a month, or even a year. Every time we fall into procrastination, every time we get lazy, our potential suffers. Slacking off today could cause you to miss your life's most significant opportunity. Your ability to share your gifts with the world may never come to fruition. Do you know how blessed you are to have found your calling? Let that drive you. You've chosen your path. This is what nature demands of you. Do your job as a human being and live to your full potential.
Remind yourself every day, this is your obligation. This is why you're here. And let that fire burn inside you and let it drive you each and every day.
You must build your life up action by action and be content if each one achieves its goal as far as possible, and no one can keep you from this. When you look at someone who is extremely disciplined, you think, wow, how do they resist temptation? How do they stay so consistent? It's intimidating to be in their presence as you feel vulnerable of your own weaknesses. What's at the core of their success is doing what is necessary, whether they feel like it or not. Discipline lies in those 6 a.m. runs when your mind is screaming to go back to bed. Discipline lies in working on your goals when Netflix sounds so comforting. Discipline lies in forcing yourself to take action regardless of your emotional state.
This is what separates us from the people we look up to, the people that we inspire to be like, yet it feels so unattainable. The only difference between us and them is their level of self-discipline. They consistently push through the times of discomfort and ignore the voice of resistance and consistently work towards their goals on a daily basis. You may never become a pro athlete, a singer, or an actor, but you can reach your full potential in your own life and become that person that you've always wanted to be that seemed so unattainable in the beginning.
A simple tool you can use to make it a little bit easier to take action is to not try and think so much about having to do the task and just show up. When I don't want to run in the morning, I just put my shoes on and go outside. When I don't want to write a script, I open up my laptop, look at the blank screen, gather my notes and research, and just go over it until I start writing. And when I don't want to put in the time to making a healthy meal, I just go downstairs, take out the necessary ingredients, and pull out the cutting board. Instead of thinking about how much I don't want to do it, I force myself to show up as quickly as possible so those thoughts don't continue to fester in my mind. And once I've shown up, doing the activity becomes much more comfortable than if I procrastinate and try to tackle it later on.
So when you don't want to go to the gym, put your shoes on and grab your gym bag. You don't want to do your homework? Pull out your textbooks. You don't want to cook a healthy meal? Take out the ingredients. Don't allow your mind the chance to work against you. As soon as those thoughts enter your mind, show up as quickly as you can. And when you have everything out in front of you, it will be much easier and you're much more likely to get started. And you will realize it wasn't as daunting as your mind was trying to make it out to be.
Because most of what we say and do is not essential, ask yourself at every moment, is this necessary? In 50 Cent's book, Hustle Harder, Hustle Smarter, he talks about putting in long nights at the studio, getting home at 3 a.m., and telling his driver to pick him up at 5 a.m. for his workout. He is so dedicated to his fitness that no matter how many hours he puts in, he's still getting up to train. He's made this a non-negotiable. Training is essential to his life, and he won't allow himself to use outside events as an excuse not to put in the work. To build discipline, we have to make specific tasks non-negotiable and eliminate unnecessary activities. Is drinking with your friends this weekend necessary, or did you tell yourself you were going to hustle? Is scrolling your phone adding any value to your life, or should you be doing your workout?
So whenever you catch yourself in activity, ask yourself, is this necessary? Is this bringing me closer to my goals? And if the answer is no, you're constantly reminding yourself of what you shouldn't be doing. I do this all the time when I'm scrolling social media. I ask myself, is this necessary? And usually the answer is no. And it just makes me want to throw my phone on the ground. I usually put it on a table. I don't want to break it. But when you constantly repeat that in your mind, it kind of like disgusts you that you're doing it when you know you should be focusing on your tasks. And then when you say yes, like at night when I finish all my tasks, it feels so much better to just relax and scroll. So I'm not on Instagram that often. So I just want to say to my followers, if I'm not liking your posts, don't be like, oh, Jackson, he hates me. It's just that I'm not on Instagram that often, and I'm very intentional with who I follow on Instagram. So just know that I fully support you and I love you. Eliminate as many distractions as you can. I know I mention this all the time, but it's literally probably the number one tool for staying disciplined. This is going to give you the time that you will need to focus on your essential disciplines. Now, of course, don't forget to enjoy your life. I'm not saying that, but you're going to enjoy it a lot more if you've already completed your tasks for the day.
Think of yourself as dead. You've lived your life. Now take what's left and live it properly.
When I was a really lazy and unproductive person, my mindset was, this is just who I am. I've always been this way. I associated the past with the present. What's incredible about being a human being is our ability to change, to, like a snake, shed off the old version of ourselves and become a completely different person. Who you were yesterday, a year ago, 10 years ago is dead. That life has been lived. You can become a completely different person. You can reinvent yourself and completely reshape your life. Is it going to take a day? No, it's going to be a journey that you continue for the rest of your life. And as you look back at those years that have passed, at that old version of yourself, it will literally bring tears to your eyes that you had the discipline to follow your heart and pursue your calling.